So as a complete opposite end of the spectrum from your very deep and insightful analysis of why or why not EMP producers domestically should exist, I want to do some harebrained predictions, just absolutely crazy predictions for 2016.
All right. I'm going to make some.
Will Saudi Arabia cut by 5 million barrels a day? Well,
here's mine. I'm going to make some enemies when I say this. The Halliburton-Baker Hughes merger will not happen. My
because
guess,
of regulators, I assume.
A combination of
It's
things.
over a year in the.
It's been over a year in the making already. It already was announced earlier in December that they were pushing the final decision date all the way out until April 30th, because now the U.S. antitrust is starting to sink its teeth into it. You know, we had talked about this a couple months ago when Australia and Europe started talking about antitrust, and now the U.S., which is the largest market or market share in terms of that this combined company would have, is really starting to sink their teeth and say, we don't like the looks of this. And so my thing is if I don't think, not only do I think it's not going to happen, I don't think they should do it, considering all the antitrust, because my biggest fear for them would be is they do it, they have to strip themselves of the cupboard of all of these business segments that they have and basically go back to the size that Halliburton was before the merger happened anyways. And it just doesn't seem worth it to do it. If they were to go through it, I think they're going to strip themselves down of so many profitable businesses that it,
in order to satisfy the regulators.
to satisfy the regulators, it's not going to make it worth it in the first place. So my guess is it doesn't happen. Halliburton gives up, shells over $3 billion to Baker Hughes for thanks for your time, and they move on.
Wow.
By Baker Hughes.
That's actually, yeah. Is that your crazy prediction?
No, Halliburton tried it. It might not work. No, but if they get $3 billion in cash,
that
not
looks
too bad.
great.
That's not too bad. A little windfall. My harebrained prediction: the summer 2016 Olympics is a complete debacle because Petrobras and Vale and all of these other companies.
Oh my gosh, this actually might not be
can't
that
fund
crazy.
Brazil's.
That might not be that crazy.
I saw the other day that they're going to plan on making athletes pay for their own air
That's
conditioning.
good. What if you were to go pick some lottery numbers right now?
Oh, and it's not just that too. I mean,
Their power, their infrastructure
one of the
is shite. They run out of power because it's all built on water. So if there's a drought,
I've been I do some coverage for Premium Side, and they have some investments in Brazil, and one of the ones it brought us to was if you look at some of the water related or like whitewater rafting
utilities over there.
I'm talking about whitewater rafting,
events.
a lot of things like that. I mean, they're in polluted water. It's gross, and it's almost to the point like we can't afford to clean it up to get it ready. And how great is it going to be when you're having?
The Olympics are an expensive affair. Too.
Yes. They can't just reuse the World Cup stadiums they built. They have to build whole new facilities.
And it's all in Rio. It's not like it's spread across all of Brazil.
Right.
This is in a country where the president is very, very possibly going to get impeached.
This is good.
All of their money comes from resources, and resources are in the tank, and they've been in the tank.
This is a very Buckerman for Prez. That's good. That's a good,
I like that one.
That's really...
And way to tie it into the energy sector, too. I was like, where is he going?
Rio 2016.
Reaching.
Not happening. All right.
I do have a crazy one. And
Lay it on us.
I think that there's going to be a modest supply disruption somewhere in the Middle East with one of the major oil producers. And my crazy prediction is that you get a big spike in oil because of it.
Interesting you say that. I thought, this is the world we're living in now with crazy production. ISIS. If you had ISIS like 5 years ago, even 3 or 4 years ago.
Oil would be 150 or something.
Through the roof. They're disrupting Iraq's and Syria's oil production and supply lines.
Right.
Egypt, not a very big producer at all. When they had the Arab Spring, prices were going nutso.
None of that.
And
is
prices
happening right now.
continue to fall.
Arguably worse right now.
Continue to fall.
I can actually remember a couple of years ago, and I almost kicked myself for having that thought and not really thinking it through. We were at a time where, it wasn't ISIS specifically, but there was major disruptions in Iraq because of civil conflict that were holding back production. We had Iran that was held back by sanctions. Libya had basically shut down. Nigeria was under force majeure for a lot of its exports with companies like Shell because of theft and
Nigeria alone is
in
begging
Nigeria.
for higher prices from OPEC
And
right
so
now, by the way.
we had this whole situation, and oil prices weren't moving. I mean, it was in the $90, $100
Right.
range for a couple of years. With all of these things happening, my short-term thinking at the time was like, wow, America's done an amazing job here keeping oil prices where
you
they
should have
were.
been
Because
bearish, is
it
what
should
you're
have been
saying.
$200 a barrel based on
Right.
all of that conflict going on. And then, I don't know, for some reason the thought was, oh man, what if all those guys did all of a sudden come back?
Yeah, what if they're all producing at once again,
Right.
which is now
What's happening now?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
even Libya is still well under production
Right.
capacity.
If they
so.
came back, there'd be another 500,000. Anyway, no, my thing is this. You look at how much we're oversupplied. I mean, correct me, 1.5 million barrels or something at worst. I don't know.
Of what we're actually producing, of what we could
Yeah.
produce, we're oversupplied by probably 5 to 10.
Right. And you get a decent supply disruption. Boom. I mean, that
Yeah, it
goes
would have
away.
to be pretty major, I think.
But, ISIS does something crazy. I don't know.
They're already doing crazy stuff, but they would have to, with oil, yes,
Yeah.
Crazy-er.
crazier.